Hello, my sewing friends. I am Jen, and this is Sewing on a Shoestring 4.0. I often am at Dollar Tree and finding all kinds of things that I can use in my sewing room. So this time, made another trip and just came up with more stuff. So let's get going. I saw these in the party section. This is just a tray with one, two, three, four, and then the middle one compartments. Put this beside anything that you've got. Put it in on a shelf, on a table, on anything, and then keep in it little things that you want to keep track of. Buttons, bobbins, needles, uh, machine needles, and what could you put in the middle? Hershey's Kisses. Yeah. And, you know, if you don't end up using it for that, I don't know, put party stuff in it and put it on your coffee table. I have some pressing cloths, and one is a microfiber cleaning towel. This is from the linen section and the cleaning stuff. You know, it's like where they have the mops and brooms and stuff like that. You can also find these in the hardware section. I don't know why that's hanging funny, but anyway, it's just a microfiber cloth, pressing cloth, right there, pressing cloth. It works. I have had a very hot iron and used it on that, and it's fine. It doesn't melt. It doesn't go anywhere. It's just a great pressing cloth. Same thing with this. You can use anything as a pressing cloth. You can use scraps of muslin, scraps of cotton, whatever you want. This is a dish towel. It says coffee all over it, which, you know, me and coffee. So yeah, it's just a coffee dish towel. And again, pressing cloth. Or you can make a cute little thing to hang on your stove, so you always have a towel hanging there. But, you know, it's pressing cloth. There you go. Easy, easy, easy. I have a little screwdriver set. You know, in order to get into the little places in your sewing machine, sometimes other stuff is in the way and you need a short little screwdriver. Well, here you go. This has just got screwdrivers in it, and they're small, and they've got all kinds of the bits, the little heads, and they slide right in like that, and there you go. There's your teeny tiny little screwdriver. These are great to keep around just in case you need to unscrew something, like the needles that you're going to put on there, the shank, if you've got to take that off for some reason to put a ruffler on, let's say, you know, stuff like that. And it's just so nice. It's got this little hanging little ring at the top that you can hang it on. It screws on, so it's not going to come off. It doesn't snap, it screws on. And yeah, you can just hang it somewhere near where you know, if you have those little adhesive hooks like near your sewing machine, or in a drawer. You can do that too. Really handy to have around. Let's get into the desk stuff. I've got a binder pouch here. This is it's just a binder pouch. You know, it's like you put it in a binder. It's got the thing that makes it a binder pouch is that it's got holes here, here, and here, where you can put it in a 3-ring notebook. And if you have patterns in it, that's what I put my patterns in, is a 3-ring notebook. But if you have like a project binder that you keep track of stuff in, and you need to, I don't know, put markers or pens or scissors or whatever it is, you can put this into your binder and keep your stuff in it. So kind of just handy little thing. Magnetic clips, which, okay, you know, I have those little rolling carts. I think the first one I ever got was at IKEA, but, you know, everybody's got them now. Michael's has them, Walmart's got them, everybody's got them. And they're handy because they're metal. And I love a magnet. I love me a good magnet because I can clip things and stick them on the side of one of those little carts, and it's always right there. I use that for the little plastic bags that I put things like baby clothes and pocket templates in. And I want to know where they are, and I don't want to have to go hunting them down. They're right there. They're right there on that little cart, clipped to one of these. So good idea. Magnetic hooks. Magnets probably will not hurt your machine. I saw somebody do a demonstration on that one time, and it didn't hurt the machine like a computerized machine. I mean, people have said that it will, it won't. So if you've got a magnetic surface anywhere and you want to have hooks instead of clips, then here you go. Here you go. If you've got one of those little magnetic pegboards, there you go. There, anything metal that you have around, you can use this on it, and it'll stay there and it'll hold stuff. And yeah, there you go. Got a little pencil case here. Can you ever have too many pencil cases? This one's metal. It'll hold lots of things. This is cute. It's got butterflies on it, and it's purple. Yeah, you know. But it'll hold all kinds of things. If you have certain threads that you always use, and they're the smaller ones, you can line them up in there. You can put marking pencils. You can put markers in general. You can put pencils in there. You can put, gosh, anything you want to put in here that's small, right there you go. It also is nice and portable. If you want to throw that into your little carrying case that you take with you when you travel and sew, or you go to a social event, yeah, use this for, to corral those things like a marking pen or a seam ripper or seam gauge, something like that. Markers. How many different kinds of these do we need? Probably not as many as I have. These are just markers. They're fine line and they're not expensive. They're $1.25. So there you go. They probably will run out of ink or dry up relatively fast. And by that, I mean over 3 to 6 months, maybe. But all the colors, it's nice to have them around in case you need to mark something on a pattern and see it. These are washable. Well, we can mark fabric with them. I would try it out on a piece of a scrap of your fabric before you mark anything. And even if you do, I would try and stay within the seam line. There you go. Washable markers. I have pencils. I like using pencils, not just markers. I often want to jot something down, or I want to be able to erase it easily. So I'll use a pencil. And these are Ticonderoga. There you go. Great brand. That is the brand, I think, in pencils. These are number 2 pencils, but they're fat. They're like kid, first grade size. And I like the idea that they'll fit in my hand and won't go anywhere. They're nice and fat. Now, the only caveat about these is that they're fat, so you might have to go to a larger size pencil sharpener. But a lot of pencil sharpeners come that way anyway, with the small holes and then the big ones. So these are made for little kids who are just learning to write. But I just think, so much easier to grab, so much easier to hold in my hand. So, pencils. Book rings. Let me show you how I organize with these. I have bags of buttons, and I use these to organize my buttons. This is the same thing. It's just a larger version, but it's a ring that will come apart, and all my buttons are separated into these little snack bags. They're just little Ziploc bags, and if I want to take one off, I just separate this, and it goes like that and snaps back in when I need it to. So there you go. Any little thing that you want to keep together. Index cards, you can do that. Just poke a hole in your index cards and keep them on that. If you want to keep 2 or 3 pattern templates together, you can do it with this. Can you think of 20 things that you could do this right off the top of your head? Yeah, I thought so. Magnetic box. Back again to the box, to the magnets. You know what? I don't know about you, but I use these for everything. If I want thumbtacks, if I want little hooks that'll go on my pegboard, this has a magnet on the back and it will stick to whatever you have that's metal. You can use them on the sides of those little carts. That's the primary metal thing that I have in my sewing room. But if you have anything made of metal, anything, I mean, I'm looking around here to see what's metal. You could probably do this on the side of your sewing machine if your sewing machine is metal. So just great little containers to have. They're not huge, but they will hold a little bit, a couple of things, a couple of little things. You know, and how many little tiny things do we have in our sewing rooms? These have a snap lid, not a screw lid, so be careful. Don't put anything in that will easily come out. Nothing heavy or anything like that, but there you go. From the kitchen section, I've got these flexible cutting mats. And I wanted to show you these because I was hoping that they would be a good substitute for a self-healing mat with a rotary cutter. They won't work for that. And here's, yeah, I tried it and it didn't work. So you get to, I probably would protect your countertop in the kitchen if you were slicing something with a knife, but I don't use it as a, for your rotary cutter because I only went through one layer of this, even 2 layers, and I wouldn't trust it. So don't do that. But they do have a good use, and I would use these and these. These are placemats. They are made of just a plastic, hard plastic. So I guess I only have 2 here. Do I have? No, I have 3. I've got this one and this one and this one. What's this say? Life is a beautiful ride. Yes, it is, isn't it? Well, let me show you what I've used these for. I made a bag to take to the pool. This is my pool bag. This is made from a shower curtain. And also, I wanted to stiffen the sides. And normally, you would use kind of like a stiff foam, but this is the pool. It's going to get wet. So what I did was I used these inside, and I stiffened the sides and the bottom. Can you hear that? That's this. Same thing. So if you're doing something that's going to get wet and you need to stiffen it, this is a great solution. This is a great solution for the pool. But this is a great solution because you just cut it with scissors. It's fine. And if you don't want it to show through a more sheer fabric like that is, that's like it's like a plastic shower curtain. Not like it's like fabric that's waterproof. Yeah, it's sheer enough that what I used kind of shows through. But if you didn't want that, use these. And plus you get 2 of these for $1.25, where these are $1.25 each. And then obviously they're bigger, you know. But I just think it's a great solution for anything that you make that you want to stiffen that needs to be waterproof. Elastic. This is 1/4 inch elastic. You can use it for hair bands. You can use it for scrunchies. You can use it anything you need elastic for. There you go. And you get 10 yards. That's not a bad deal. It's just 10 meters. Not a bad deal for $1.25. That's a lot of elastic. Ribbon. This is grosgrain ribbon. And by the way, that's how you pronounce it. It's spelled G-R-O-S, grain. It's not grosgrain or gross grain. It is grosgrain. Learned that years and years ago from my mom, who learned it from, I don't know, somebody that knew how to pronounce it. This is 9 feet. It's just white. It's not very wide. I think that's about 3/8 of an inch wide. 3/8 of an inch wide. Yeah, it is. Now that I see it, 3 yards, 3/8 of an inch. If you need to tie something, tie a bow on something, or you're making kids' clothes and you need this kind of ribbon. I made a dress at one point, and I went around the neckline and then the waistline with this stuff, and it was fine. This would have been plenty enough to do that, and it was the size. It's the size that I used. It's not a bad deal, and it's grosgrain, flannel, and fur. I knew that they carried fabric at Dollar Tree, but I didn't know they carried fur and fabric. And to be honest, for most craft projects, you probably don't need more fur than this. Not much more. Let's see how much is in here. Gosh, it's probably like a fat quarter. It's not very much. It's not even that. It's the size of a washcloth. Well, if you were making something small and you just like needed the inside of a bunny's ears or something like that, paws, you know, small amount, there you go. They've got fur. And they've also got flannel. How you say flannel? Let's see how big this is. See if it's like a fat quarter. I don't know. Maybe. This is cute. It's got octopuses and octopi. Yes. And let's see what else. An anchor, sea stuff. And this is a fat quarter. Yeah. So, you know, you can get a lot of things out of a fat quarter for a baby. So I would use it for that. And this is just a plaid, you know, same thing. So fat quarters of flannel and fur. Containers. I'm always going on and on and on about containers. You know, little containers to hold little things that you need for them to hold. Little scraps of ribbon, a spool of thread that's almost gone. Gosh, what else? A little wound up tape measure. I can come up with about 100 uses for these that do not want to come out of here. So I've got two kinds. I've got some that came from the craft section, I think. Did these come from the craft section? I don't know. I can't find. Oh, here we go. Yes. Craft and bead storage. So if you have beads, they'll hold those. And these are from the kitchen section where the plastic containers are. And same thing. And I can never have enough of these. So two sizes. These have the lids that just snap on. That's a pretty good seal too. This isn't bad either. So you got two sizes here. And endless uses for these in your sewing room. And I could stand here and go on and on and on. Bobbins, buttons, beads, little tiny spools of thread, hand sewing needles, machine sewing needles. Okay, the brain is getting taxed out, but you get the point. You get 4 of these, 4 of the blue lids, and then you get also 4 of the gray lids. Both $1.25, 5 quarters. I love these. These are just little wicker baskets, but they're only about, well, how big are they? Let's see. Let's go 10, that's like 6 inches across. And they're just a nice little way to hold things, you know, just cute little things that you just, like the soap that you use to run your needle through so that it won't tangle. A little bit of lotion, a little bit of chapstick, lip gloss, you know, keep those in that little basket. And it's just pretty, you know, just pretty. Basket labels. These are fantastic. And I love them because I have a calyx unit that looks like that. And it has all my patterns in it. And I love the fact that I can label all of each bin with these. They just have a clip on the back that slides on to your bin like that. These come out obviously, and you get, I don't know, what do you get, like 4? I think you get 4 pieces of paper in there. It's like cardstock. You could use index cards and you know, make your own labels if you wanted to, but they just slide right down in here like that. And then you just clip them onto your bins, and there you go. Everything is labeled. I love it when things are labeled because I need to be able to find everything in here. So clothespins. Don't have wonder clips? That's okay. You got clothespins. You get a lot in here. You get 54 pieces of clothespins. These aren't just good to keep your potato chips fresh. These are great when you have a big long stretch of fabric that you want to run through your serger and you need to clip it all together. And maybe wonder clips are too small or not tight enough. But here you go, 54. You can use these for anything. You know what? If you don't have these labels, then use a clothespin and a piece of cardstock. There you go. You can label everything in your entire sewing room. What a deal. 54 clothespins for $1.25. This is an interesting one. I wouldn't know about this if I hadn't watched another YouTuber who does things. She makes crafts and sewn things that you have to use a sewing machine for, with Dollar Tree stuff. And so she said one time, and for this, one of the supplies you need is one of these things with the 2 lingerie bags in it. They are mesh laundry bags. They're the kind of things that you put stuff into and then put it in the washer, because you don't want all kinds of things to get into it. Like stuff like, I put my bras in there. So 2 of these, but let me tell you why she said to buy them. It's because this is 3 of them. They have zippers. They have a zipper. And if you are trying to get something done, you need a zipper. Everything is closed. Every store that known to man is closed, but Dollar Tree's open till 10, and you got to have a zipper. Here you go. All you have to do is cut this out of here, and there's a zipper. And then you can turn around and use the rest of it as a pressing mat or pressing cloth, because the stuff, really, your iron would have to be really hot, like the surface of the sun hot, for this to melt. It's a great, because it's mesh, it's a nice pressing cloth. And so you've got a double layer there, and you get a zipper. Or you can use it to store stuff in. If you've got little scraps of fabric and you just want to put them in there, then you can do that too. So all kinds of uses for that one. Also from the linen section, it is one of those containers that you use in a drawer like that. And this is not container store quality or anything like that, but it has a little zipper in the bottom, zips up the bottom, and there you go. You've got a container with a bunch of little compartments in it. Oh my gosh, what can we use this for? We can use this for scraps of fabric, little remnants that we want to roll into a roll. We can use this to store everything. Just, I mean, seriously, you can put thread in it. You can put bobbins. You can put needles, machine needles, hand needles. You can put seam rippers. You can put awls, which are like stilettos. You can put your hand lotion, you get what I'm going with here, all manner of things that you can put in there. And it doesn't have a handle, but you could make one if you wanted to just be able to tote it and walk around with it. But I just think this is, when I saw that, I thought, oh man, what I could do with that. So I just think this is a great little thing for $1.25. I'm not even kidding. It will not last you 100 years, but it was $1.25. So it's okay, because it'll hold a lot of stuff right now. You could probably cut these out if you wanted to customize it and make bigger, not smaller, but bigger sections. That would be easy. And my last thing is a thing I've been saving, because I think this is so cool, and I'm so glad it worked. I bought one of these little things. It's like a bulletin board to go on your wall, and it comes with thumbtacks, and I don't even know what else that is. Probably plastic to be able to mount it on your wall. But when I saw it, I thought, oh my gosh, that's a pressing mat. That's one of those little mats that you keep with your little travel iron right by your sewing machine, so you can just iron. And then I thought, will it work though? Is an iron going to be too hot? This is felt, but I pulled this back, and it's cardboard, and then it's got a piece of foam on top of the cardboard, and then it's got the felt. Look how big this is. Is that not perfect for putting right beside your sewing machine if you're sewing shoulder seams, a pocket that you're pressing? You can put any size iron on this, and it will work. I have a gravity-fed iron that gets really screaming hot, and I tried it, and it worked. I just think, what a great idea. What a great idea. And you can also put it on the wall and use it like a bulletin board too, if you want. But pressing mat. Yes. Oh, one more thing, one last thing. Tic Tacs. Okay, there's a YouTuber that I love to watch, and she was doing a what's in my table thing one time, and she said, she held up a little box of Tic Tacs, and she said, this is great for used needles and also the smaller used rotary cutter blades. Now, I put my rotary cutter blades in the package that they originally came out of. Usually they come in a little blister pack, but the blister pack is great for the used blades. Well, this is great. First of all, eat all the mints or dump them out into a little decorative thing. I don't know, into one of these. So you'll have it in your sewing room, or maybe even this, a little blue lid. But just great for needles, machine needles that you that are done, that are, you know, broken or they're dull or something like that. You can put them in an empty Tic Tac container. I just think that's so smart. I love it when I watch another YouTuber and they have this genius idea and I can go, I need to tell everyone about that. Well, that's it for Sewing on a Shoestring 4.0. More things that I found at Dollar Tree that we can all use in our sewing rooms. So if you've used any of these things or you can think of another use for them, please let me know in the comments. Everybody can read the comments. Everybody learns. And that's it for me. So I will see you next time. And thanks for watching.